The year was 1985, and love was in the air for Sarah and Michael Thompson. After dating for 3 years, they had planned what everyone described as the perfect wedding ceremony. The small town of Cedar Falls was buzzing with excitement as the young couple prepared to start their new life together. Sarah, a 24-year-old elementary school teacher, had dreamed of this day since she was a little girl. Michael, 26, worked as a mechanic at the local auto shop and had saved every penny to give Sarah the wedding she deserved. The ceremony took place on a crisp Saturday morning in October at the historic St. Mary's Church. Sarah looked radiant in her grandmother's vintage lace dress, while Michael stood proudly at the altar in his rented tuxedo. Their families and friends filled the pews, witnessing what should have been the beginning of a beautiful journey together. The reception was held at the community center, where the newlyweds danced their first dance to Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. But what happened next would baffle investigators, devastate to families, and remain one of the most perplexing mysteries in the county's history. As the evening wound down and guests began to leave, Sarah and Michael said their goodbyes, thanking everyone for making their special day perfect. They were seen getting into Michael's blue 1982 Ford pickup truck around 11 p.m., planning to drive to a cabin in the nearby mountains for their honeymoon. The cabin, owned by Michael's uncle, was located about 2 hours away in a remote area known for its scenic beauty and hiking trails. The couple had been there before, during their courtship, and fell in love with the peaceful surroundings. They had groceries packed for a week-long stay, their suitcases full of honeymoon clothes, and hearts full of dreams for their future together. When Monday morning arrived, and Michael didn't show up for work, his boss initially wasn't concerned. After all, the man had just gotten married and was supposed to be on his honeymoon. But when Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday passed without any word from either Sarah or Michael, their families began to worry. Sarah's principal called her parents. When she didn't return to school as scheduled, the families decided to drive to the mountain cabin to check on the newlyweds. What they found there sent chills down their spines. The cabin was completely empty. There were no signs that Sarah and Michael had ever arrived. Their truck was nowhere to be found, and none of their belongings were inside. It was as if they had simply vanished into thin air, somewhere between the wedding reception and their honeymoon destination. The local sheriff's department immediately launched an investigation. They traced the route from the community center to the cabin, interviewing gas station attendants, restaurant workers, and anyone who might have seen the distinctive blue pickup truck that night. Roadblocks were set up, and search parties combed through the dense forests and winding mountain roads. Helicopters flew overhead, scanning for any sign of the missing couple or their vehicle. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The investigation expanded to include state police and eventually federal authorities. Sarah's parents mortgaged their house to hire private investigators. Michael's family organized volunteer search groups that scoured every inch of the mountainous terrain. Flyers with their wedding photo were posted in every town within a 200-mile radius. Theories began to emerge as the case grew cold. Some believed the couple had been victims of foul play, perhaps targeted by robbers who saw them leaving their wedding with gifts and money. Others speculated that they might have had an accident on one of the treacherous mountain curves, with their truck sliding off the road into a ravine too deep to be easily spotted. The most heartbreaking theory, whispered among family members, was that they had deliberately disappeared together to start a new life somewhere else. Though this seemed completely out of character for both Sarah and Michael, the local media covered the story extensively for the first year. But as leads dried up and no new evidence emerged, the case gradually faded from public attention. Sarah's students made cards for her that went unanswered. Michael's co-workers eventually stopped asking his family for updates. The community slowly moved on, though the mystery never truly left their collective consciousness. Sarah's parents aged rapidly during those years, spending their savings on psychics, private investigators, and anyone who claimed they could help find their daughter. Michael's mother developed severe depression and rarely left her house. The wedding gifts, still wrapped in their pretty paper and ribbons, gathered dust in Sarah's childhood bedroom, which her parents kept exactly as she had left it. 5 years passed, then 10. The case file in the sheriff's office grew thick with dead-end leads and false sightings. Occasionally, someone would claim to have seen Sarah or Michael in a distant city, but these reports always turned out to be cases of mistaken identity. The families never stopped hoping, never stopped searching, but the pain of not knowing what happened to their children was almost unbearable. Then, in 1997, 12 years after that October wedding night, technology would finally provide the breakthrough that had eluded investigators for over a decade. The emergence of commercial satellite imagery and advanced computer mapping systems opened up new possibilities for solving cold cases. A specialized team of investigators began using these tools to re-examine unsolved disappearances, focusing on remote areas that might have been missed during traditional ground searches. The satellite images revealed something extraordinary hidden deep in a canyon, approximately 50 miles from the intended route to the honeymoon cabin. At first, it appeared to be just another shadow among the rocks and vegetation, but when the image was enhanced and analyzed more carefully, the distinctive rectangular shape became unmistakable. It was a vehicle, and based on its size and positioning, it appeared to be a pickup truck. The coordinates were immediately forwarded to the local authorities, who organized an expedition to the remote location. The journey to reach the suspected crash site was treacherous, requiring specialized equipment and experienced climbers. The canyon was so isolated that it had never been thoroughly searched during the original investigation, as it seemed unlikely that anyone would have driven in that direction. What the search team discovered when they finally reached the bottom of the canyon would bring both closure and heartbreak to two families who had waited 12 long years for answers. The blue Ford pickup truck was indeed there, having apparently left the main road and plunged down the steep embankment. The vehicle was heavily damaged from the fall and had been hidden from view by decades of vegetation growth. Inside the truck, investigators found the remains of Sarah and Michael Thompson, still wearing their wedding attire. Sarah's veil was caught on the rearview mirror, and Michael's boutonniere was still pinned to his tuxedo jacket. The scene was both tragic and somehow beautiful, as if time had preserved this final moment of their life together. The investigation into how they ended up in that remote canyon revealed that Michael had likely taken a wrong turn in the darkness, possibly confused by unfamiliar mountain roads or distracted by the excitement of their wedding night. The truck had gone off the road at a curve where there was no guardrail, plunging into the canyon where it remained hidden for 12 years. Personal items found in the truck painted a picture of a couple excited about their future together. Sarah's purse contained a list she had written of baby names, and Michael had a job application for a better-paying position at a garage in the next town. Wedding cards from their reception were scattered throughout the cab, and their honeymoon suitcases were still packed in the truck bed. The discovery brought a mixture of relief and devastating sadness to both families. Finally, they had answers about what happened to Sarah and Michael, but those answers confirmed their worst fears. The couple they had loved and searched for so desperately were gone, had been gone all along, lost in a tragic accident on what should have been the happiest night of their lives. The funeral service, held 12 years after their disappearance, was attended by hundreds of people from the community who had never forgotten the missing newlyweds. Sarah and Michael were buried side by side in the Cedar Falls cemetery, their headstone reading "Together Forever." With their wedding date and the date they were found, the case became a turning point in how missing persons investigations were conducted in remote areas. The success of satellite imagery in locating the couple led to its adoption as a standard tool in search and rescue operations. Several other cold cases were subsequently solved using similar technology, bringing closure to families who had waited years for answers about their missing loved ones. The story of Sarah and Michael Thompson serves as a reminder of how quickly life can change and how precious every moment with our loved ones truly is. Their wedding photos, once symbols of hope and new beginnings, became memorials to a love story that was cut tragically short. But in a way, their story also demonstrates the power of persistence and advancing technology to provide answers even when all hope seems lost. Today, the mountain road where they were last seen has better lighting and improved guardrails. A small memorial marker stands near the curve where they likely made their fatal wrong turn, placed there by their families as a reminder of the young couple who were just beginning their journey together. Visitors to the area often leave flowers at the memorial, touched by the story of Sarah and Michael's enduring love. The advancement in satellite technology and search capabilities that led to their discovery has since saved countless lives and solved numerous missing person cases. What began as a tragic mystery became a catalyst for improving how we search for and protect those who become lost in remote areas. The Thompson case remains one of the most poignant examples of how modern technology can provide closure to families devastated by tragedy, proving that sometimes the answers we seek are there all along, waiting for the right tools to reveal them.